Today, let's play magic, transforming soy milk into plant yogurt by using green chilies. A vegan or pure plant-based diet has become many people's choice, so I hope this video can provide you with an option to replace dairy yogurt. I'll also share 3 ways of eating soy milk yogurt at the end of the video, 2 savory and 1 sweet. As always, we have a lot covered, so let's get started. For green chilies, I find this type from Hunan province works better than other types, so it's become my new favorite. I also find using 8 chilies is a sweet spot of effective fermentation. Now carefully separate stalks from the bodies and try to keep the bodies intact. Let's remove the bodies for now and focus on the stalks only. Another ingredient is fresh soy milk. I tried these 2 store-bought brands and they worked quite similarly. In a bowl, weigh 250 grams or about 1 cup of soy milk. And microwave on medium for a few minutes or till the internal temperature reaches no more than 43 degrees Celsius. For this method, I usually target between 30 to 35 degrees. Put all but 1 stalk into soy milk, then use the remaining 1 to immerse them, and then drop it into the soy milk as well. Cover with a paper towel and leave the bowl on the counter to ferment. Believe it or not, that's all you need to do. Check after 12 hours. If it sets, jiggles a little, and looks like tender tofu, it's well fermented. Note that the side, though, has multiple small holes. Carefully remove the stalks, cover the curd with a lid, then put it in the refrigerator to slow down the fermentation. I usually leave it there overnight. The next day, if you see some whey flowing on the top, it's normal. Unlike dairy yogurt, soy milk yogurt made this way is not creamy in nature. Even if you blend it well, it'll still appear a little grainy. The texture does represent that of dairy yogurt, but the taste is completely different. It has a strong soy flavor, a little acidic, and slightly peppery. For first-timers, you may need some time to get used to it. But why? Research shows that the calyx of chili contains various lactobacilli, which are crucial for yogurt fermentation. We usually treat stalks as waste, but science has proved otherwise. Note that the temperature in my kitchen ranges from 30 to 32 degrees in all experiments. If your environment is colder, the fermentation will be longer, and the taste will be more acidic. But wait, does that mean chili itself doesn't work? To test, I decided to try the 8 chilies that are left without the stalks. The method is all the same, except that I cut cross on the top of the chilies to release the flavor, about 0.8 centimeters or 1/3 inch deep. Turns out, it has worked quite well, seemingly stronger than the stock version, as it only takes about 10 hours to set. I want you to pay attention to the holes on the side because you will see the difference with the standard version later. The holes of this one also seem small and kind of even, so I'd say it's also well fermented. This version is like the stock version, a bit grainy, but represents texture of dairy yogurt too. Taste-wise, it has a stronger peppery flavor with some small notes of heat. By the way, I also tried Hangjiao, which type is more common and cost-effective. It also works, but in general, it takes 2 to 6 hours longer to ferment a batch. So don't take the indicated time for granted. Learning how to judge the doneness is the key. The third method, if having limited chilies at home, you can just use 4 whole chilies. Here, I just use hung pepper. Separate the stalks, then cut across on the top of the bodies, heat the soy milk, then soak everything, including the stalks and chili bodies, into liquid. The rest is the same. This one takes about 15 hours, but judging by the look of the side, it seems over-fermented a little. Over-fermented yogurt will look a bit broken, and after mixing, it'll look somewhat chunky rather than grainy. Also, it tastes a bit more acidic. The peppery flavor, though, is in the middle of the last 2 versions. If you wonder why I didn't use red chilies, I did. But even if I used the stalks, the color was a bit off. However, the off-putting color is gone after mixing and the taste hasn't been affected. Now that I have a starter, it's easy to make a new batch. In a glass bowl, add 750 grams or about 3 cups of fresh soy milk and microwave to the temperature range. Pass 7 tablespoons of starter through a sieve to get 6 tablespoons or 90 grams of a finer starter. Add 3 tablespoons of the soy milk into the starter to temper and repeat a couple of times till the mixture is diluted enough. Then pour it back into the soy milk and mix thoroughly. Loosely cover with a lid and leave it to ferment on the counter. It could take from 10 to 12 hours or even longer depending on the temperature in your kitchen. This one takes exactly 10 hours. Gently shake the bowl to check if it sets. It should look like mousse and jiggle like mousse. After chilling, it still jiggles a bit. This one looks quite smooth. It almost feels like spooning into tender tofu. You see, even if the starter was sifted in the first place, the texture is still a bit grainy after mixing with a spoon. So I used a mini whisk to see if it'll give the yogurt a better mix, and voila, it works. The yogurt looks much smoother. Note that this video intends to provide you with a method that relies less on kitchen equipment. If you prefer a precise way, follow the method in my previous video of making dairy yogurt, which is to heat the soy milk to 42 to 43 degrees, mix in starter, and ferment in a proofing machine at 43 degrees for 7.5 hours. Compared to the room temperature batches, the standard version has almost no hole on the side. It's also much smoother than the room temperature method. I think many will be more receptive to this one as it almost tastes sweet to me. The room temperature fermented batch, however, is more acidic, which somehow promotes the soy flavor. So I think it suits savory dishes better and the standard version sweet dishes better. Regarding the used chilies, don't throw them out. Here's how I recycle them. First, rinse the soy milk curd off, then pat them dry. Don't worry about a curd that is stuck inside the slits. Finally, slice all of them and put them into a big bowl. For every packing cup of pepper slices, add 3 to 4 tablespoons of minced garlic, 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame seeds, a handful of toasted peanuts, and drizzle about 6 tablespoons of piping hot rapeseed oil. Mix well, then add half a cup of light soy sauce and 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. Optionally, add 1 teaspoon of granulated sugar. One of my favorite ways of eating yogurt is to add 2 to 4 teaspoons of the oil-drizzled hot soy sauce to 8 tablespoons of the soy milk yogurt. To me, the flavor is a perfect match. By the way, this recipe is inspired by Chichil, a brand that specializes in pistachio paste and aspires to establish a vegan image. This video is not sponsored by Chichil, but I received a set of their products. Iranian pistachio paste, which is made of sterilized raw pistachios harvested in Iran, which looks greener and tastes original, and American pistachio paste, which is made of roasted pistachios harvested in the US, which tastes richer and more aromatic. Here's how I apply these two pastes. In a mortar, add half the garlic clove along with a pinch of sea salt and grind in the paste. Add a combination of half basil and half mint leaves, loosely about 1 cup. Pound down, then add another pinch of sea salt and keep pounding into a finer paste. Add 1 teaspoon of the green pistachio paste and about 2 teaspoons of this kind of grated hard cheese. Mix everything till it becomes a paste. You may eat it as is by just spreading it on bread or combine 2 teaspoons of the paste with every 1 tablespoon of the soy milk yogurt. Just note that you may need to add a little bit more salt into the paste. This one can be used as a dip or spread on the boiled egg as a topping, which can be served as a starter. Here is a sweet version. For every 8 tablespoons of yogurt, add half passion fruit, a handful of cereal, and 1 teaspoon of the American pistachio paste. Mix well. Serve as is. I don't add sweeteners, but I'd add some peanuts or any kind of nuts. I'd highly recommend adding some minced mint leaves as well. We have covered a lot today. Hope you enjoyed this video and see you next time.